Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price today as we are fighting to stay above this new weekly open. And as traditional markets open up tomorrow, I want to talk about whether or not Bitcoin is going to continue into price discovery or if we're going to have to watch downside targets for Bitcoin. And then we'll take a look at Ethereum as we are struggling to stay above this major resistance level. I want to talk about the implications of the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart on the US dollar value of Ethereum right now. As you can see, we are inside of this falling wedge and we've yet to break out of this. I want to talk about whether or not there will still be some downside here for Ethereum to Bitcoin, and then we'll look at what's happening to the Bitcoin dominance chart because this is having a huge effect on altcoins. We are above the new weekly open and the previous weekly open, and there are a lot of things happening in traditional markets right now. We'll also take a look at US oil and Japanese traditional markets as well as the US dollar. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Abeidi. If you appreciate this content, remember to like this video. First, I want to talk about exactly what's happening to Bitcoin right now. You can see, just as we predicted, we are consolidating in this range around that $56,000 level, and we are currently struggling to get back above this new weekly open. In my opinion, if Bitcoin is able to come above this weekly open today, it's a Sunday, and so that means if we're able to start closing hourly candles above this weekly open, then that would be an extremely bullish case for Bitcoin to then continue into price discovery, as that weekly open will then turn into support. And of course, traditional markets are opening up tomorrow, and so far traditional markets are looking kind of good. I'll talk about exactly how traditional markets are looking into the end of this video, but for now, what we want to watch for Bitcoin is this weekly open sitting at that $57,430 level. If we are not able to get above this, there is a high chance we could come down and retest this support level, which is sitting right at that $52,500 area. And if that happens, then we must hold this level because the next downside target will be the previous weekly open, which is sitting at 48,564 right now. And so I am very keen to see what happens to Bitcoin in the next 24 hours, because if we're able to get back above this weekly open, that will show a lot of strength for Bitcoin. We know the macro is still very bullish for Bitcoin. When we look at the three simple moving averages, now the 4-hour 50-period moving average is coming towards this support level. And so if we pull back, I am going to expect this to hold. Of course, if it doesn't, then we do have that downside target from the previous weekly open that will come into play, and that's also where the 100-period moving average on the 4-hour chart is starting to come by. And we look at the Ichimoku cloud, you can see we are far and above that right now, and we know Bitcoin in an uptrend, it likes to bounce on this Ichimoku cloud. As you can see from our previous uptrends, you can see when we first broke out from 20,000, we bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here before we saw a consolidation period and altcoins saw a massive run up. And then since we've broken out from the Elon Musk pump, we've yet to come test this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. And so I think that's highly likely at some point or another. And so we have to be careful about where our long positions are at right now at these higher levels for Bitcoin, unless we get a confirmation of a breakdown. At that point, we want to watch this major support level here that we're looking at, and that is also showing confluence with the 4-hour 50-period moving average, of course. And so that's going to be my first downside target for Bitcoin. If we break below that, things could get a little messier, but of course it is a Sunday. This is the most manipulated time in the markets, as I always say, and so we have to be very careful on what the schematics look like right now. But when we take a look at what's happening to Ethereum, what you'll notice is we're seeing a little bit of a different story play out here. We are finding resistance at this level, and as I talked about yesterday, if we were not able to hold candles above this level, then Ethereum could potentially have more downside targets. You can see we did close 1 hourly candle above this level, but before that happened, we saw 1 hourly candle breach through the level and then the next one come right back down into that level, and we yet to see any more hourly candles close above this level. And remember what we talked about yesterday with the RSI for Ethereum. This has been a very good way to determine the bottom during this uptrend. You can see every time we've become oversold on the hourly RSI, we've formed new highs, and so far we've yet to form that oversold RSI on the hourly chart. And so I am watching this because we did come down on Saturday when we saw this dip, but we didn't become oversold. We bounced at the previous weekly open now. And so at this point for Ethereum, I am watching the 1 hour RSI. I think that's going to be a critical indicator for us to determine what the bottom is for Ethereum. If we see continued downside, and kind of like what's happening with Bitcoin right now, with Ethereum to the Bitcoin chart, I want to see this chart get above this new weekly open. If it doesn't, then we do have some more bearish targets to look at for Ethereum. But notice this on Ethereum dominance, which is a little bit different than the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart because this factors in all other altcoins. Realize this, we are seeing a bounce right now at the 0.618 Fibonacci level, and that to me could be a potentially bullish case for the Ethereum dominance to see a reversal after this massive uptrend. This 0.618 level typically holds if the 0.5 level doesn't hold, and if the 0.38 doesn't hold, typically we'll see that 0.618 hold. Anything below that starts to turn bearish. And so at this point for Ethereum dominance, I think a key level to watch on this chart is going to be how we react inside of this area. Now, so far, just to be completely honest, once again, I am never going to give you guys a biased analysis, whether it's being bullish or bearish. I'm always going to be the umpire and give you a neutral perspective because we're sitting here and having a cup of coffee. Typically, when a asset reaches its destination, let's say this was its downside destination before a reversal, it will hit the destination and turn right back around immediately. But when you come to a destination and you start to sit there and have a cup of coffee and start knocking on the door of the support level, that becomes more and more weak, and so there is a potential we could see this drop. I just want to put that out there. But at this point, the confirmation is pretty easy right now because the weekly open is sitting right at that level as well. And so if we can get above this for Ethereum dominance, then I think we could potentially see this trend up and allow the Ethereum US dollar chart to see some positive gains and some positive momentum here. And so I think that's a very key level to watch. And then when we look at Bitcoin dominance, realize this has a huge effect on altcoins, and right now we are above the new weekly open and we are above the previous weekly open, and we saw this support level hold, and we've already formed a higher low and a low here. And so there is a potential we could have a inverse head and shoulder forming here, and if that is the case, if this breaks out beyond this monthly open, that could be detrimental for altcoins. And when we look at the daily chart, we have this 200 period moving average sitting right at that monthly open. And so once again, if we come above that monthly open, that is also confirming a breach of this 100-day moving average, and a confirmation of a reversal could come if we see hourly and 4-hour candles close above this monthly open for Bitcoin dominance. That's when I would be concerned about altcoins. But if we start to come back down below this weekly open, what I'd like to see is for Bitcoin dominance to come back below the previous weekly open, and that would assume continued downside for Bitcoin dominance. To me, what's very surprising, and I hope this can teach you something, is with Bitcoin dominance just maintaining this level and being stagnant, but the US dollar price skyrocketing during this period, that is a very positive sign that at some point or another, we could see Bitcoin dominance slowly trend down while we still see altcoins and Bitcoin increase in US dollar value. Because you can see how much Bitcoin increased in US dollar value while its dominance just stagnated. And that to me is a very interesting aspect of this market, because that says that regardless of Bitcoin dominance, the US dollar price is not necessarily too affected by that when it comes to a direct correlation of the dominance level. So just because we stagnated here didn't mean the price stagnated for Bitcoin. And so that's a very positive sign for the overall market, because the total cryptocurrency market right now is blowing past $1.6 trillion, and we have just breached 1 trillion. And so this is an exuberant amount of growth. This proves a lot of institutional capital is in the market right now, and I think we'll continue to see this trend up, almost like the early days of the S&P 500. This is really a chart that I think will continue to oscillate to the upside. I mean, this is the total cryptocurrency market in general, and so you have coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum and BNB in the top 3 right now, all of them seeing massive use case, very different bull market than what we saw in 2017. And so I think that's very positive for the Ethereum price. And then others dominance, what you'll notice is what we're having here is a weakness. We're seeing weakness at this new weekly open, and we're still below the previous weekly open. And really what we want to see at this point is for us to get above this previous weekly open. And if that's the case, I think that there's a very high chance we can continue up for others dominance, or else we'll have to watch this support level that pretty much started since the start of this new altcoin season. And then we do have this target here for the upside potential for others' dominance. And so I'm still very positive in the total market, not just for altcoins, but also for Bitcoin, because as we know, Bitcoin can stagnate in dominance and still see a lot of upside, and others' dominance has a lot of room to go, in my opinion. We just want to start seeing some strength here in the near future. And so, by the way, if you guys want to win one of my favorite books on investing, I'm going to be giving away Trading Psychology. As you guys know, if you want to enter into this giveaway, just comment below and share this video, and that will enter you into the giveaway, and I'll pick a winner for our video yesterday at the end of this video. But now that we've talked about dominance, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, I do want to look at traditional markets really quick. So the DXY has opened, and you can see we're not seeing much action here. That's a very good thing. We're actually below this 50-day moving average right now and below the previous weekly open, fighting to stay above the new weekly open. And so I'd like to see this continue to trend down. If we start to get above these levels, and this monthly open is a very key level at this point, and if we get above that, that could be a little bit worrisome for the overall markets, not just in cryptocurrencies, but in traditional markets, precious metals, of course, and so forth. But really, that reversal is going to come if we break that 100-day moving average. And then traditional markets are not looking too bad. The Japanese markets gapping up today. You can see a little bit of weakness right now, but they're just consolidating at this higher range. Nothing indicative of a top just yet, and that is very positive as we start to see the U.S. traditional markets open, the Euro 100, and the Chinese traditional markets. And then U.S. oil gapping up over 1% for the day as we saw futures open. That, to me, showing commodity prices that are strong is an indicator that we could see strong asset prices as we start to see traditional markets open. So that's a positive thing for Bitcoin and all other assets. And that's pretty much the summary for today. When we look at Bitcoin right now, once again, in the macro, we're still very bullish. Even if we see a pullback all the way down to 48,564, which is the previous weekly open, that would still be bullish. But if we get above this weekly open, then there's a high chance this continues into price discovery. And then, of course, at that point, we want to see how are other altcoins reacting to Bitcoin's increase in US dollar value, because there's a lot of dynamics playing part with the others dominance and Bitcoin dominance right now. So we will monitor those as always. And for those that are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, remember to subscribe and turn on those post notifications to get our updates first. And I'll pick a winner for our book giveaway from yesterday. If you guys want to enter into this video, just remember to comment below and share this video. Wow, 225 likes, 0 dislikes. Thank you so much, guys. That means a lot. That is awesome to see we have 0 dislikes. I'll go ahead and pick a winner for our book giveaway. I'll give, let's see, I'll give somebody from the early comments a chance. John Sprogo. Thanks, Naeem. Always great content. You won the book. Go ahead and send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below, and you'll have the chance to win the book. I don't know if you've already won a book or not, but that's fine. You can get 2 books. There's a lot of great books here that I can go ahead and send you towards. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I am going to wrap this up. It is a Sunday. If you guys appreciate this content, remember to like this video, and until tomorrow, snipers out.